Okay, I'm going to try and keep this short. This is Ron here. This is kind of a preface to a video about prophecy I want to do in a live stream in a little bit here. It's from the book of Daniel. It's chapter 8, verse 3 through 9 is what I want to talk about. Just that. This being from the Bible, as with any text, any text that tries to convey a teaching, there's layers and parable and different meanings and things, and that's what I want to describe is what I felt inside when I heard these words, and then I went to read them, and I decided, yeah, I want to talk about just this little section, because others are talking about this prophecy and have, of course. It's not so much about the macrocosm of the prophecy that folk are talking about, though. It's the microcosm. In these kinds of different texts, religious texts or occult knowledge, different sources of learning. In those texts, like I've said before, well, I'll get to that. But this little piece of this microcosm in this text that I felt for me, that I directly related to my experience and something I experienced inside, this part of the parable, this part of the story in and of itself tells a huge story to me. And that's a story of the apocalypse or the inner apocalypse, the revelation or disclosure. Folk are waiting for disclosure to come. And I would tell you that disclosure has come. Things have been revealed. The veil has been lifted some time ago. I can't tell you when, because I got here late to the party, as I've spoken about before. And what I mean by that is when I sort of woke up, so to speak, to reality. But now that I'm here, and now that I've really looked and dug into things, especially myself, my own biology, my own physiology, my own psychology, these different occult teachings, relating them not only physically but metaphysically intertwined into one solidified perspective on life based in morality inside me from my soul. Now that's where I speak from. So to me, what I went through was very much an apocalypse inside me that I feel like these words describe pretty well. And I want to put whatever words I can to whatever depth I can all out in a live stream, however it comes out. I just want to go and do it. So that's why I'm making this. So the parable part, like I was saying, it's a saying or a story in which something is expressed in terms of something else. And that's what I see here in this story. The goat versus the ram. And that's what I want to explain. And if one were to go back through my videos, one would see I've actually spoken on this very thing in very long-winded different ways, to which now I want to try and put into an explanation, comparing it to this parable, this part in the book of Daniel. So know this: the morality part. I want to express this exposition in the story of morality, the deeper hidden teachings that can be found for each of us inside. A direct message, because not all messages, like some folk look at the prophecy as a real world, who is this enemy, who is this beast, who is that beast, who is the beast from the west, who's the goat, who's the ram, who's the dragon, who's the leopard, who's the eagle with the wings plucked off. What I'm trying to relay is to take the words I'm going to read from the Bible inside you. Create the story in your own mind for you based off your own experience and your own base of knowledge. Where I'll be coming from is a place of morality. So please don't get thrown off with the terms I use, because the terms I use are going to be an amalgamation or a combination of terms from all the different schools of thought I have come to study and know and use as my own tools of language. But they're all based in my own morality. So I'll be speaking from my heart and soul, and in no way am trying to mislead anyone down a different path than what they are, only to try and help them see that there might be a deeper message of morality, that it's not attached to a name. So, yeah. Okay, so I'll leave that here for now. Some of the language I use might include things that sound like astrology or alchemy, or some of the language from the teachings of Masonry and this and that. Let me tell you that they're all only words. All the words I will be using are only words made up by other men and other women, our own species. But I am giving my perspective and perception from my heart and soul expressed with those words. So those words are not attached to any so-called society or group, or those that would wish to control others. Just the opposite. They're speaking from me, from the sovereignty I found in my own soul, and the sovereignty I know that exists within all of us, that is not just a made-up label or costume that others portray and then lord over others with so-called paperwork. The message I'm trying to spread is that message that's inside all of us, that message of truth and morality, that moral compass lining up in line with truth and knowing truth. So that's where I'll be coming from. So whatever I say, I hope I don't throw anyone off too bad, and really I'm just relating an experience. So thank you for listening.